Good morning, Buki. Good morning, Nima. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Okay, so sorry. I was in charge of a meeting at the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities.
Hey, my
So,
woman.
so I had to, you know, rush down to the commission, ensure that everything is set for stakeholders because I had to anchor on behalf of the committee members. And thank God for a new month. Yes. Why will June not linger when it is the Queen's month? Hello? Hello? But hey, happy new month, everyone. God bless us. Amen.
Amen, amen, amen. Happy new month. Okay, Bookie, good morning once again. You were with us in the morning. Hi, Bookie. Bookie, can you hear us? That would be a network issue. Hi, Nima. Good morning once again.
Yes, I
Happy
can,
new.
I can hear you. Is it okay, or
Awesome.
I should switch devices?
It's okay now. I can hear you. I wasn't hearing you before.
Okay, but can you hear me now?
Absolutely, yes.
All right, okay. I thought it was a network. Yes, good morning. Happy new month to all our Lens family. Ṣé àlàáfíà lẹ wà? We want to thank God that we saw half of the year. Susan, we bless God for that. We made it. And then so Nima and Fumi, how are you doing? Well, Fumi, me and you, we don't jam this morning, and Nima too, we don't jam this morning. So let the jamming continue.
Let it continue. Yes. Hi, Nima. Once again, good morning. Nima's network is turning on its own this morning. We cannot hear you, Nima. While you're trying to rectify that, we're just going to get into it this morning. Olodo uprising. I know that we haven't talked about it at all on here, but I felt the need to talk about it this morning. Why? Thank you very much for that question. Over the last few days, we have seen conversations about scrapping of NYSC. Oh, children cannot read. Scrapping, I didn't say scrapping, beg your pardon, changing the NYSC reforms. That's the way to put it. Scrapping GSS, SS, what else again? 3 out of 4 Nigerian children cannot read. We've seen quite a few Olodo uprising to join. We've seen quite a few things with regards it. Yesterday I was on Twitter and I was watching a video by Daily Faro Timmy. If you know him, you know him. That's why I say Wike, if you know, you know. And he was saying how in 1994 he wrote an article called Weaponized Ignorance. He was saying that Olodo uprising is not a new phenomenon, but it's an offshoot of weaponized ignorance that happened in the 90s. And he had said that back then he had started noticing that it seemed like the government was intentionally weaponizing ignorance and was not doing what they need to do with regard when it comes to the educational system in Nigeria. Emmanuel always talks about educational poverty every now and again, that why is it that our educational sector is zero? There's no F9, zero. Every time we talk about, there's strike today, there's no strike tomorrow. The schools are not top-notch any longer. The quality of education is 0.5. We talk about this every now and again. But then, this morning we said that the federal government is now proposing to end GSS SS separation. But now specifically, the education minister, Olatunji Alausa, has now said that 3 out of every 4 Nigerian children cannot read. I know this for free, that this is not even 3 out of 4 Nigerian children. Adults cannot read. And this is not do you think you're better than anybody? Like something as basic as reading, something as basic as stringing a sentence together. This is not a case of Yoruba is my language, Igbo is my language. Like basic communication skills aren't happening anymore. Nobody's asking you to learn big English, just basic. And we're seeing that 3 out of 4 children cannot read. If they cannot read, it means that they cannot learn. This is all by the age 10. So when YC had come out to say there's an Olodo uprising, and Nigerians got upset because he mentioned a particular individual, maybe two, and I don't even think it was him. It wasn't even him who mentioned it. It was the podcast host that mentioned it. I was like, oh yeah. And he, alluded to it. I think that the issue is that we are missing the big picture. Ignorance has become the modus operandi in Nigeria. People can't reason for themselves. People can't have their own opinion. You see people just being tossed to and fro based off of somebody's ideology or somebody's word or whatever like that. And by the time we check it and deep it, we're back to what Tunji Alausa is saying. That 3 out of 4 Nigerians cannot read at the age of 10. And if you cannot read, you can't reason. If you cannot reason, how do you have conversation or arguments? How can you defend your opinion? All these things are interwoven. And another reason why the federal government is ending the GSS and the SS separation is also because, again, they say 20 million children are out of school. In primary school, there's 80 million children. By secondary school, you find less than 20 million, less than 9 million. The figures are, all the figures are now doing like this in my head. So there's a poor retention system. Every now and again, we are seeing, we come up with numbers or news on the number of out of school children, how it is increasing. If we're going to tie it to Boko Haram as well, that's they say education is it forbidden? All these things are intertwined if we really look at it. But I am glad that we have educationists here, nation builders here, to really speak to how these things are interwoven. Why is it that the government is keeping us in perpetual? There's poverty of money, there's not educational poverty, there's poverty of the mind, there's health poverty. It's alarming. So I'm just gonna let Susan, who was in here yet first, build the Buki had started the discussion with me in the morning, but Susan, over to you.
Okay, so for me, I just heard about the Olodo uprising yesterday. I didn't even, I didn't really know about it. And, someone kept reiterating it and speaking to it. For me, we don't need a soothsayer to tell us that our educational system is dwindling by the day. We have discussed this over and over. Years back, for me, when I needed to get O-level after secondary school, I know how long I took GCE. I know how many times I took JAMB before. In fact, at the time I got admission, I just settled because I was like, well, what is the probability that I will even get higher than this particular score? And that was a 240 or 50 something. But it wasn't still up to my cutoff for the course I wanted to study in Unilag at the time. So if it was this easy, look at JAM cutting to 1 something. So my question is, so what will polytechnics be doing? Polytechnics will now be less than 100. At the time, I had just finished from my OND, which in fact, the cutoff at the time was even 150. Then, so looking at the educational system, and I want to look at what are the root causes. When we talk of some of these things, for me, it is not the school your children are going to. Let's be honest. It is the government-owned schools that are not being specific to look at the welfare, the curriculum, and everything. Those of us who attended private schools could read. You see a little child, 5, 6 in private school, and they are very smart. When they speak, you call them ancestor. Because ancestor kokombiko. They were taught well. Government schools, what are you reviewing? Are you looking at staff welfare? Are you looking at the curriculum? Is it changing with the times to ensure that what we are teaching the students are not archaic? We are not teaching them what is not obtainable in the 21st century. Because I was a teacher and you already have a scheme of work. So weekly, you must just prepare your lesson notes and what have you. So my question is, all of those things, do they take time to review the system? Do they look at, I know, for example, Lagos State, which I served at the time, was, if you are not a BSc holder, you will not teach in a secondary school. And so NCE and all the rest would teach in a primary school. So the question is, how effective are the systems that bring in these people? Do you keep training the teachers? I mean, because trainings are never too much. They need continuous training and retraining to be abreast of the 21st century kind of education. I don't have a problem with ending junior or secondary school, in all honesty, because in my head, I'm wondering, why do they have to pay junior WAEC fee and come back at senior secondary school to pay another fee? If you can make it just 1 to SS3, you pay money, because, I mean, in my head, I'm wondering, what's the certificate in junior for? Exactly. Are they supposed to use it and go and get a job or something? While it is, on average, a good milestone, for me, it is nothing serious. It is not the ending for any student. And so I expect the government, I agree, reading is not our culture, especially for the young ones who are all over social media, who see the likes of people who speak disjointed English and still make millions on social media. So in their head of heads, they are wondering, why am I wasting my time? And that is where what Mam Fumi will always talk. What are your family values? What do you tell your children? So that when they step outside and the pressures from outside hits them, they will not be swayed, to any kind of side. Because an average person who is way older than some of these people all over the different apps, doing things that are unrealistic. And you are wondering, Susan, as intelligent as you expected, as this, you don't even have half of the things they are mentioning. So I think the government needs to address the root causes. It's not about the children. It's not just about the children. Do they have good learning environments? Have you been to certain schools? For me, you talked about insecurity. I have traveled around the northern part of Nigeria. Do you know how porous these schools are? There are no fences. Everywhere is open. Anybody can just walk in at any time, not to talk of someone who is targeting to pick up children or any other thing. You know how that would be very easy for them because there's nobody manning those spaces. So I think the government should go back to the drawing boards, begin to look at staff welfare, staff training and retraining, ensure that even the curriculum that we are giving out are worthy. They are what these children need, and not just, over and over. Some teachers, no disrespect to anybody, all they need to do is just to go and pull out their old notes because they know it's already the same thing and just pick the topic, But life is not like that. Life is evolving and so many things are happening. If we had constant light, tech skills will be valid in some of these schools. But you and I know how epileptic our power supply is, and it's not realistic to even look at going that route. Let me stop here for now.
Thank you so much for that. Nima, I recall that you gave an example, I think, of your sister and at secondary school saying, I think she really cut off marks she complained about, or that they were giving them, I don't recall. There was a complaint with regards the quality of education or the quality of, is it invigilation? I don't recall. Maybe you can shed some light on this.
Well, it was the quality of invigilation, and
Right.
that had more to do with insecurity and the for lack of better